Sci-Hub.
There's not really any surprise on why these phones, the new Nokia 3310, really exist in the world of the £1,000 smartphone, and that's purely because of nostalgia. Now, Nokia first introduced the phone onto the market back in the early 2000s, something like that. I was only a very young teenager, 11 or 13 at the time, and I remember I was really jealous that my friends all had one and I didn't. I think I actually had something called a Philips Savvy, but it did come around and I did manage to get my hands on a Nokia 3410 when they were released, and I remember that it was covered in like a turquoise colour with a white front, and I absolutely loved it. And it looks as if we've come full circle now with the Nokia 3310 being released in 2017. So the phone itself isn't very big, and it very much resembles the original Nokia 3310 released way back. Now, it has been made to look a bit more modern with a nice roundness to its body, as well as the 2.4 inch colour screen. Now, there is this silver band that goes around the circumference of the screen that does keep the styling very, very similar to its original. Looking at the function buttons you've got down here with the left and right options and back, and also you've got function buttons for things like hang up and take a phone call, and then the actual action button is now turned into a D-pad, which we'll go through shortly because the operating system has changed on the phone. Now, the buttons themselves are very, very chunky, and it would really suit someone that didn't have the best eyesight so they could feel their way around the phone. Everything just feels really big and clunky and chunky, and it's not a bad feel to the phone at all. So sticking to its roots, the Nokia 3310 isn't the most feature-rich phone in the world. Now, it does have a web browser and it does have a very, very basic camera on the back, but these aren't going to be anything like browsing on an iPhone or even something like a Samsung S7 or S8, something like that, like the full Android experience. Now, the web browser is a very, very basic version of, I believe, Opera. Use it, Opera Mobile. And it works for when you're finding out information, like you're browsing a Wikipedia page, for example, or looking for a product on Amazon, but you can't access Netflix and you can't access social media and you can't access anything too graphically intensive. So it is really very much a text-based web browser. But the camera works that way too. It's very, very basic, and there's no filters here, or you can't share them on your social media straight away, and you can't geotag them, and you can't really do much at all. It's just there to take very, very basic snappy pictures. It doesn't have a front-facing camera, so you can't take selfies on it either. The Nokia 3310 2017 version is a very, very basic phone. You have to understand that now, that this will not replace your current smartphone in your pocket, but it could be a backup phone. Now, it does do things like send SMS messages and take and receive phone calls. It has an MP3 player built in there, so if you want to upload your own songs to it doesn't have Spotify, but if you want to upload your own songs to it, you can, and it has got an extendable memory card slot as well, so you can put that in there to store more music and photos if you want to take photos with this camera. One thing it does absolutely superbly, better than any other phone on the market, is its battery life. Now, it has a 22-hour Talktime battery on there, which is absolutely huge, and it also comes with a 30-day standby battery as well. So if you leave this in your car, for example, as a backup phone for if you break down, then it will last 30 days without you having to recharge the battery, which is phenomenal. For a mobile phone in 2017, that is absolutely phenomenal. It's great. Now, one of the biggest issues with that, though, is the fact that this phone actually uses micro SIMs rather than the more popular nano SIMs that most phones on the market use now. It does mean that you're going to have to carry around 2 separate SIM cards with you, or you're going to have a separate telephone number for your Nokia and a separate telephone number for your main daily driver phone. That's a shame, because it would have been nice to be able to take out the SIM card of the dead phone, like your daily driver, for example. If you've got an iPhone 7 and it dies and you'll break down in the middle of the motorway, it would have been nice to take out that SIM card of that iPhone and stick it straight into the Nokia without having to muck around with 2 telephone numbers, or having to remember if this is on pay-as-you-go, you're going to have to remember if it's topped up or not before you use it, or you're going to have 2 separate contracts, and it's just a little bit of a pain, and it's not going to appeal to most people, this phone, to use on a daily basis. But as a backup phone, it would have been a great idea to have that nano SIM feature available. Now, the nice thing about the new Nokia 3310 is that it's pretty robust. It's definitely followed in suit of its older counterpart way back in the early 2000s. But you can knock this around and it's not going to break. Honestly, it's built really, really tough. No bend or flex on that at all. I'm not scared that I'm going to break the actual screen, and just generally as that backup phone that you could just keep in a handbag or keep in the car or somewhere loose without putting a case on it, then yeah, it's going to work absolutely fine. One downfall though is that you cannot replace the actual housing, which would have been nice if they actually followed suit of the very much the older Nokia phones, where you could buy your custom cases from like a stall at your local shopping centre, and you could really customize the experience. Now, it does come in several colors, being blue, which we've got here. It also does come in like a grey color, and also bright red and bright yellow as well. I'm not sure on the actual accurate names that Nokia have given them, the marketing names, but they do look very good, and they are extremely vivid colors. And I must say, I probably prefer a yellow or a red, although the yellow would probably show up a few more scratches if it was to get a scratch. But yellow or red all the way with the new Nokia phone, I think. And I'm actually surprised at its size and actually how comfortable it is to hold in the hand. It's not very heavy. It weighs nothing at all, but it does just feel very solid, which is lovely. So if I do drop it, I'm not going to be worried about breaking this phone, I don't think. No, I'm not. So the software that actually comes with the phone is Nokia's very, very old Series 30 operating system, which if you have used Nokia phones in the past, you'll probably instantly recognise. But for those of you that haven't actually seen the Series 30 operating system, it's not that hard to navigate, and the menus are very, very easy to get through. I never felt lost, I never felt overwhelmed with the menu on here, and most things are nice, big, chunky, recognisable shapes anyway, like settings looks like a cog, the radio looks like a picture of a radio, it's like a little symbol, calendar looks like a calendar, games is a little controller, so everything is very easy to read and configure with the phone. And being such a basic operating system, you're not going to get lost in settings. I think the most you can do to customize it is things like ringtones and ringer volume and message tones and that kind of thing. There's not really much to get lost in. If you are interested, it does come with Bluetooth 3.0 connectivity and 2G as well. So you're not going to get a full 3G, 4G fast internet speed experience, but you have at least got something there to be able to connect to the internet, albeit slower than usual. So for those of you that are interested in the nostalgic feeling of this product, you have got Snake available again, which has actually this time been developed by Gameloft. So it's rather interesting. It actually comes as its own icon on the sort of the desktop, should we call it, the icon tray. And this time around, it uses very different kind of configurations. It's not exactly the same as it was before, where you were just inside a square collecting black pixels on a screen. This time around, you're actually required to navigate a kind of maze. And there are things that pop out at you as well, like there are different power-ups like bombs or go faster power-ups, that kind of thing, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting into the game. I'm not actually very good at it, and the only problem that I find that my hands are so big for this phone that I can't actually get to the buttons in time, especially if I've got to press like 2 and 6, for example, to go up and right. Just doesn't work. Go to next difficulty. Apparently that was a little bit too easy for me, but I'm up to the next difficulty. There is a max score you can set as well. Ours is only 6, so we haven't actually touched Snake for that long. But it is there, and it is a little bit more futuristic than the original Snake from the original Nokia phone. So overall, the Nokia 3310 2017 version isn't going to replace your smartphone. It will make, though, for quite a quirky backup phone, or even a secondary phone business calls that kind of thing. Now, it does have all the feels of the original, and it has been really nice using this phone and having certain aspects of the Nokia 3310 come back to you, which has been pretty cool. And to be honest with you, if you were someone who went to school, I would say late 90s through to the 2000s, and you were one of the people that had a Nokia 3310, then Your friends are definitely going to be jealous when you whip this out, I must say. And of course, the best thing about Nokia mobile phones in the whole entire world, which captured the world literally, is this. You didn't think you'd ever hear that again, did you? Unless you were reminiscing about the past. So thank you very much for watching our review of the new Nokia 3310 2017 version. If you liked the video, then do hit that thumbs up button. Please do click subscribe to keep up with all of our latest technology and gaming videos, and let us know what you think of the Nokia 3310 and whether you would buy something like this to use, or if it would just be for nostalgic reasons, or it's going to replace your daily driver. Just let us know what you think of the new 3310. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next review.